Hello, my dears. This is gonna be a long one, but if you could like it, duet it, repost it, stitch it, I don't care because I want my story. Because I'm gonna tell my story, and I want it to get out to the largest audience as I can. Because I want to see what kind of visibility I have as a trans person. Um, because I want some trans joy, and my joy, my story is that of joy. It really is. Um, the earliest that I can remember that I wanted it to be, well, not even be, like, that I felt I was in a different body when I was about 8 years old. That's the youngest I can remember, okay? I'm over 40 years old right now. I'm Gen X, but I can remember bits and pieces from my childhood, and I know the earliest that I wanted it to be, that I thought I was in a different body when I was 8 years old. When I was growing up, um, I always felt that there was something missing inside me. I always said that I have this emptiness in my stomach, like something was supposed to be there that wasn't. And I'd never been able to describe it until much later in life, which is a shame. But you got to understand the society pressures at the time that I was growing up. And this is why I want to try to have it better for the generation behind me and the generation behind them. Because here's the thing. Every time I went to a store when I was younger, I always had people call me a girl, and I liked it. Um, I remember one time I was sitting. I thought I was alone in my dad's house. My mom and dad are divorced. So I started singing along with the TV, and the song on the TV was "Natural Woman." Now, if you know anything about that song, you know what it's about. Natural woman, come on. And I used to sing along with that one, and when I thought I was alone, and the Venus one because uh, the Venus promotion. I think it's for razors. Um, I used to sing along with that one too. I'm your fire. That song. Um, but one day I got caught singing. I'm a natural woman, and my stepmom made me feel like shit when I was when I did that. So that put that pit in my stomach and made that emptiness a lot more prevalent. When I was when I was in the sixth grade, because I remember this perfectly, my sixth grade teacher said something that kind of stuck with me for almost ever. He said to me, and I'm not joking. He said, you know, have you ever thought you were born in the wrong body? And I didn't know about it at the time. That teacher ended up taking his life. I don't know if he ever transitioned or tried to. That's why I'm sticking with the pronouns that I know from him. So I am sorry if I'm misgendering them. Um, so I went to the army because I thought, well, I'm skipping a lot of things there. Um, I was a troublemaker in school. I got into fights. I didn't like myself. I tried unaliving myself a few times. Um, I had to see a therapist a few times, and every time I went to see the therapist, I just looked at them and didn't say anything because I didn't want what I was going through out. I didn't want to tell anybody about it at all. Went to the military, got diagnosed with bipolar disease. So I thought that's what was wrong with me. And for the longest time, that's what I thought was wrong with me. Until I was in my 30s. Now, a lot of people said that they came up unexpectedly for them because I was kind of a playboy, having lots of girlfriends, stuff like that, you know. But so I so when I came out in my 30s, it was probably 2011. No, 2009 is when I started dressing the in the fashions that I thought, and it was 2010 that I came out transgender at my first job that I ever came out to, and they were amazing about it. Um, Thanks to Cher's son, Chaz, they kind of understood what it was about, so they let me start transitioning socially there, because I couldn't get medications or anything. Um, Long story short, I had to come home back to where my mom was and live with her. And at first, I was absolutely forbidden to wearing women's clothing. Um, After seeing a therapist again and actually getting to the root of it, I was actually able to go back to the VA, get retested, and found out that it wasn't bipolarism that I had. I was actually diagnosed with gender dysphoria at that moment, and I started to medically transition. And I can tell you right now, it's the happiest I've ever been in my life. Despite everything that's happened in the last year, I'm happy. I'm happy in my body for the first time. I'm not lying as much as I'm not lying actually at all. And I used to do that all the time when I was denying who I was. Because that's all I've ever known. Now I'm living my truth, and people want to take that away from people like me. And I'm telling them, and I'm going to fight back because I ain't going down. I will stand here and I'll fight for every single one of us. Every single one of us. Now that you know my story, let me say this. I love you all.